The Martial King is a new manga that has just came out. It's on chapter 11. We're going to be going on chapter 12 this Thursday. And let me tell you guys something right now. This manga is an absolute banger, okay? First off, it is created by Boichi, who is the artist and illustrator of a very small, not really too popular anime slash manga called, maybe you've heard of it, Dr. Stone. Yeah, that was a lot of sarcasm there because Dr. Stone is a damn banger. You know what I mean? Everybody knows Dr. Stone. Everybody loves Dr. Stone. So the artist from Dr. Stone, Boichi, he created this new manga called The Martial King. And let me tell you what, the main character, Jimmu Godspeed, he looks like a mix between Ace from One Piece and Senku. He's got like kind of the Senku face a little bit going on, like the Senku eyes, but everything else, he's got dark hair and he's got a cowboy hat, and he looks like Ace. And this is the thing about this manga, why it's so awesome. It is set in the Wild Wild West. If anybody's ever seen the movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith, it's sort of that like dystopian, I don't know if it's like a future or like the past, but it's like a dystopian steampunk kind of thing. And like the world, like literally the earth, is kind of like almost made out of like industrial metal, and like there's trenches where like the earth is split in half, but in the trenches it's all metal, and like it's so weird. It's almost like a Transformers kind of Cybertron planet going on, but not as advanced. It's like, you know, all desert. And so it starts with a crazy opening sequence where Jimmu Godspeed, he wants to be the Martial King, right? This is like the twist here, where I kind of compare it to One Piece, where he wants to become the Martial King. So instead of becoming the Pirate King, or aka the Desperados, that's what the cowboys are called in this manga, he wants to be the Martial King. So he's working for, you know, the marshals, the sheriffs, stuff like that. And in order to become the Martial King, he has to take out all of the Desperados, and he needs to find every piece of this legendary armor, okay? And that requires two like arm, kind of like mechanical arm pieces, a chest piece, leg pieces, and I think a helmet, right? A full body armor set. And once you become, you know, once you get everything set, you pretty much become the king of the world, right? And he's going to use that to become the Martial King and set balance to the earth, because right now, pretty much it's the era of Desperados, okay? So cowboys have fully taken over, and this isn't like your typical cowboy sheriff kind of deal going on. No, let me tell you what, this got the anime twist to it. Like, I'm talking about guns that just blow holes the size of Wisconsin and things, you know what I'm saying? And so the manga pretty much starts off with Jimmu Godspeed's dad, M. Godspeed, who is pretty much the king of the Desperados. He's like one of the biggest, most threatening Desperados out there. He's probably not, you know, the king of them, but he is one of the most threatening Desperados. It starts off with him trying to rob a World Bank train, and the World Bank train is full on Wild Wild West steampunk. It's got like these arms that are coming out of it with big old guns and cannons on the side, pretty much for self-defense, because it's the World Bank train. And so he's trying to rob the train. He knows his son is on his way to kill him, and he pretty much lets his son kill him because there's a underlying tone that he knows a little bit more than, you know, us. We don't really know kind of what's going on, but the further you get into the story, there's only, you know, 12 chapters, like I said, but the more you read, the more you kind of think, well, maybe he knew something we didn't know, because it seems like he let his son kill him so his son can get into the Martial Academy, so he could get his hands on the King Magnum, which is these insane pistols that literally, if every time you shoot them, it takes years off of your life. So I don't know how this is going to end. I'm sure it's going to be a crazy ending somehow, some way, but the goal for Jimmu Godspeed is to travel the world and find the remaining armor sets. Now, his dad had the arms. He ends up killing his dad, taking them from his dad, and he has the arms, okay? Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. But the main point is he needs to find the rest of the armor, right? And he's barely starting out on his journey, so he's he's not like his full strength yet, but he is pretty damn strong, pretty damn fast. He could shoot 12 bullets in .1 seconds. That's insane from a 6-shooter revolver, right? 6 bullets in one, 6 bullets in the other. That's 12. He could shoot all 12 in .1 seconds. And the fight sequences are awesome. It's action packed. All the characters are great. Jim Godspeed has a pretty much like a sidekick. It's like Luffy Zoro. He comes across this girl. We're just gonna call her Dutch. Her name's Agara Dutch, but we're just gonna call her Dutch. And she has these eyes that can see things at light speed because she's pretty much like the news reporter. She kind of gives, all the information that she sees to, the Martial Queen or whatever, the principal of the Martial School. And so Jim's goal is to work his way through the school, become a marshal, and then end up being the Martial King by capturing all the armor, traveling the world, fighting all the desperados, and pretty much liberating the Earth, because the Earth is pretty much ran by, the pirates or the desperados, the cowboys, right? So it takes a good comparison to One Piece, in my opinion. You got the Martial Kings, aka the Marines, or not the Martial Kings, but the Marshals, aka the Marines, and the Desperados, aka the pirates. And the goal is to become the king, like the Pirate King, like Luffy. And he needs to find all of the pieces of armor, just like Luffy needs to find all the poneglyphs, and then he needs to find, Roger's the One Piece, right? So it's cool because Jim literally will create the armor set and it will be one piece, so that's kind of funny there. And yeah, I'm just loving it so far. Like I said, it's on chapter 11. It drops every Thursday, which is nice. I love that because usually spoilers for One Piece, or not spoilers, but the early One Piece scans drop on Thursdays or Fridays for One Piece. So Thursdays and Fridays for me right now are just awesome. I'm just reading, I'm reading it from the Viz, so I'm reading the Shonen drop for the Martial King, and then I'm reading the early One Piece scans on, Thursday, Friday. So it's awesome reading both of those back to back because, it just reminds me of One Piece so much. And if you're a One Piece fan, I really do think that you will love this manga for what it is right now. It's pretty fun to read, and if you like Wild West, that's one thing that I'm going to get into right here is like, there's really not any anime or manga that's like cowboy eccentric, like super, super cowboy heavy, like literal Wild West heavy. But this one is, and it's super awesome, and I hope you guys check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. So, peace out, guys. I'll see you on the next one.